Hello, and you're all very welcome along to the latest Champ.ie podcast, Ireland's premier horse racing podcast in association with Doyle Sports, Gorham Park, EJ Menswear, Shamrock Thoroughbreds, Midland Travel and McCafferty's traditional Irish bars.
They're coming to the final fence and the 25 Govs try yesterday. Nick Rocket lands in the lead from Velvet Elvis, gone well clear. Up Favori to Sean Bowen, Bushman's past, they're well strung out. Nick Rocket on the stand side for win number 10 in the race for Willie Mullins.
Enter our Champ.ie headline competition in association with Midland Travel, where you could win a trip for two to the Cheltenham Festival 2026. For a chance to win, simply subscribe to the Champ.ie podcast on YouTube if you haven't already, and scan the QR code to enter your competition details today. We look forward to discussing your weekly #Fivecast selections in the comment section below. Hello, and you're all very welcome along to Season 7, Episode 6 of the Champ.ie Horse Racing Podcast in association with Gorham Park, Doyle Sports, EJ Menswear, Shamrock Thoroughbreds, McCafferty's Irish Bars and Midland Travel. Right, let's take a look at what we have for you this week on the show. We'll, as always, start off with our Irish Spotlight. We'll look at our weekly Fivecast preview, and we've got a very special guest this week in Sean Bowen, an exclusive interview with Barry later on. Shamrock Thoroughbreds, Steven Thorne will update us on his runners this week, and of course, the most important part, the weekend best bets. The Fivecast selections this week, we're looking at races from Ascot on Saturday, Haydock, and the big one, the John Durkan Chase, the Grade 1 on Sunday. Right, before we get into it, we have, of course, our very special guest coming up later on in the show, Sean Bowen.
So it was nearly like a mini Supreme round Exeter, and he beat them all well. So I think he's a very good horse, and really looking forward to seeing what he can do over fences.
And before we get stuck into the Irish Spotlight this week, here at Champ.ie and Midland Travel, we want to give you a chance to get to the Cheltenham Festival 2026.
To begin with a chance of winning an all-inclusive trip for two to the 2026 Cheltenham Festival in association with Midland Travel, Ireland's leading horse racing travel specialist. Simply subscribe to Champ.ie on YouTube if you haven't already, and scan the QR code on screen and answer the following question. Who won the 2025 Cheltenham Gold Cup? Was it 1. Galopin de Champ, 2. I Know the Way You're Thinking, or 3. Marine Nationale? Register your competition details today, including your YouTube username. Don't forget, you must subscribe to Champ.ie on YouTube to qualify. The competition winner will be announced on Thursday, the 12th of February. Best of luck and be lucky.
Yes, really is a fantastic prize, Barry, for one or for two lucky people to be going off to Cheltenham next March. And of course, you're like Santa Claus. You're working away in the background every week, and you're building up some fantastic prizes that we're going to be giving away before Christmas and throughout the year.
Yes, Dave, some fantastic prizes up for grabs on our winter Fivecast draw course coming up on the 20th of December. Breakfast with the Shark up for grabs. He has the Clonakilty Black Pudding, of course. €150 shopping voucher from McDonagh Shopping Centre in Kilkenny. That's a prize as well. The Irish Field have put up a 12 months online subscription, and the Fairways Hotel in Dundalk, Dave, have put forward a race and stay package for two. And of course, our Cheltenham competition. Scan the QR code to enter, Dave. But if you're watching this show, of course, on a mobile device, you're not going to be scanning any QR code, but you can, of course, in the podcast description, Dave, click on the link and enter the competition. We've had fabulous numbers, but if you're not in, you can't win, Dave, for that Cheltenham competition. We're going to give it away on the eve of Red Mills Day.
Yes, absolutely. And good luck to everyone that has entered. And you still have lots and lots of time as well to get your entries in. Right, let's kick off the show then. And as we do now every week on the Champ.ie Horse Racing Podcast, we are going to start it off by looking at the Irish Spotlight. Barry, the first section of the Irish Spotlight this week, of course, is the headline entries in Ireland this weekend. And there are plenty of them. Let's go through the three we're going to talk about. Anzadam, who's, of course, a champion hurdle prospect. We've got Fact to File. And, of course, last year's Gold Cup winner, I Know the Way You're Thinking.
Yeah, let's start with Anzadam first and foremost, Dave. I think he's a crazy price, should I say, for the champion hurdle. Look, he's 4 from 4 over hurdles, Dave, but single figures, like as short as 6-1 for the champion hurdle. I just think he's very, very short indeed. I mean, last start, obviously, Dave, he's been fragile and a hard horse to train for Willie Mullins, and he's been well talked up, Anzadam, but he obviously beats Beacon Edge, who's rated 142, 11 years of age by 11 lengths on his most recent start, getting weight. So, I mean, if you're going to be a champion hurdle horse, you're fairly entitled to be beaten Beacon Edge. It's not exactly, fantastic form in my view. So he's going to have to step up. He's single figures, and obviously Stateman not out for the season. Now that's a big disappointment, Dave. Lost him out for me. I'm still not giving up on this mare being a champion hurdle horse. Obviously, she's going to be going down the route of the Hatton's Grace and maybe over to Kempton at Christmas. But anyone rushing to back Anzadam, he's rated 157. I'd have question marks over that mark as it is. He's clearly talented. But in that Morgiana hurdle at the weekend, Dave, I did think Indawi was an interesting horse. Brings, obviously, this is a 5-year-old as well, trained by Gordon Elliott, the stable in decent form. This horse, obviously, a Galway hurdle winner. He's rated 154. He only has £3 officially to find with Anzadam, but rock solid form, second in a county hurdle. We know how that's worked out. Of course, we've had Breeders' Cup winners that have come out of the county hurdle, Dave, and was sixth in the Cesar, which Gordon has won this on 2 occasions, of course, in the last, I think, 10 years with Brighter Days Ahead and Abracadabra. So at 10-1, I just thought Anzadam, to be a champion hurdle horse, I think he's going to have to step up again. And Aranci as well. I'd have question marks on the ground for Aranci. I think he's a better horse on nicer ground, and obviously it's going to be testing. So that'd be my view on Anzadam. And I know the way you're thinking, Dave. I'd say Mark Walsh, I would imagine, would pick Factifile. This looks a good opportunity for Factifile. We'll come on to the John Durkan later on in the show, but I know the way you're thinking. A cracking horse. Obviously, all his wins over fences. They have 3 wins over fences have come, over beyond 3 miles later on in the season in the spring. So, bigger targets ahead for him. He's rated 176, should I say, another way you're thinking. But I'd say Factify looks the obvious one, but we'll come on to the John Durkan later on in the show.
Yes, and of course, there's plenty of very competitive handicaps as well in Ireland this weekend. And I believe a horse of Mick Winters's that's going to run on Fridays of interest to you, Barry.
Yeah, it is. Darrell Keefe booked for the ride. Obviously, that's encouraging. He's a really good strike rate when teaming up with Mick Winters, of course. And like the race, 9-year-old horse called River Vale, Dave, in the 12:31 at Fairy House. Won over fences over 2.5 miles at Turles last time. And the comment from Mick Winters afterwards was, this horse, he really needs, bottomless ground, and he was surprised, I suppose, he got the job done in such an impressive fashion over fences. Reverts to hurdles, has had a nice gap of 21 days, Dave, so a 3-week period to get himself right for this assignment over hurdles, and I think he could be well treated off 100, Dave. Officially rated 100, 9 years of age with just 8 starts, and I thought there was lots to like about his profile. Moving up in trip to 3 miles from 2.5, Dave, with Darrell Keefe booked, so that's of interest. River Vale will be one of my stronger bets in Ireland over the coming days.
Yes, and absolutely a very positive booking, as you mentioned, on the Mick Winters trained runner. What about the best bets then, Barry, looking at that element for this weekend's racing?
Yeah, in Ireland, obviously, I did mention Indawi. Look, I think that horse has an each-way chance. The race could cut up, so if you're playing at the moment, Indawi for Gordon Elliott in the Morgiana, I just think 10-1 double figures looks a little bit too big, considering he was only beaten, of course, a length and a half, I think, by Cargeezy in the county hurdle, and we mentioned the county hurdle form. So, yeah, Indawi each way in the Morgiana. I like River Vale, as I mentioned, in that 12:31 at Fairy House. Mentioned for a horse of Andrew Slattery's at Punches at Turles, should I say. He's already running on the card at Turles in the 3:45 tomorrow as we're recording. So on Thursday, Dave, a horse called Mulla Gloss, who won a bumper, of course, at Galway 2 starts ago. And I thought shaped well behind L'Evangeliste, a smart horse for Eric McNamara at Galway over hurdles on his first start. This horse is related. He's by Walk in the Park, Dave, and he's related to Countrywide Flame. And big shout out to Desi and all the syndicate, the Punchestown Friends syndicate who own Mulla Gloss. Good followers of the show. And yeah, I think that horse could run well in the 3:45. 2 others to mention as well in Ireland over the coming days, Dave. I thought Waterford Whispers, if he runs at Punchestown, could be very nicely treated off 130 on Saturday in that 2.5 mile handicap chase. And the other one to mention, Mr. Fudge for Steven Thorne and Amma Racing on Friday night. He's only running in Dundalk, Dave, and I think a winner might get him back on terms with Dave Marnane in that Winter Championship.
We're going to head into our first ad break, and when we get back to you, we'll be back looking at the first 3 of the 5 races on this week's Fivecast selections.
McCafferty's traditional Irish bars are located across Ireland, the UK, Spain and the United Arab Emirates. McCafferty's bars provide the perfect backdrop and atmosphere to watch all horse racing and sports events, serving traditional Irish food and music played 7 days a week. Come to McCafferty's for the crack and stay for the experience. Check out McCafferty'sbars.com.
Yes, you're very welcome back to the Champ.ie horse racing podcast, and we are now going to kick into our 5-cast selections. And we're going to start off with the first of those races. It's the Grade 2. It's the at Ascot on Saturday, the 1:30. It is, of course, the 1965 Chase. Barry, talk us through this one.
This cracking renewal, Dave, if they all stand their ground. I have to say, I'm looking forward to this race at Ascot at the weekend. A couple of them, Dave, should I say, doubly entered. So, but I think the race at Ascot has the makings of a decent one. Ile Francais, and there, obviously, that's interesting. £9 well in with the likes of Pic Dory, considering the fact that he's rated £3 higher and he gets £6 on top of that day. So Ile Francais, an obvious contender. Pic Dory as well. We've Django Bay, the Arkle winner, Gidley Park. He could be unexposed over fences as well. And my selection in the race, Dave, is going to be Django Bay. Look, I think 4-1's a cracking price about Django Bay. 2.5 miles to 3 miles. I think this season, Dave, we're going to see a lot more from Django Bay up and trip. Obviously, the King George could be on the agenda as well. Nicer ground. I think we've 6 mil due at Ascot. So it's going to be somewhat decent ground at Ascot. That's going to help. And if you watch the way this horse jumped last season, making lengths at his fences, obviously he was outpaced and came home well, shaped like a stair in the Arkle Chase. But I just think his jumping is a big asset here, and the race could be run to suit, like with the likes of Pic Dory, Ile Francais. It could set it up for the likes of Django Bay here, who's unexposed over the trip. And Load of Sud and Only by Night, the Arkle form is working out top class. They both have come out and won this season. I was particularly impressed with Load of Sud last weekend in the slower chase. So I think the Arkle form is form to follow. And as mentioned, Django Bay, a decent price, David, 4-1 for me.
Yes, the second race of the 5 we look at this week is the 2 mile, 1 furlong handicap chase at Ascot at 3:15. Teddy Blue for Harry Derham Barry, our 7-2 favoured and last time out winner at Ascot.
Yeah, he wasn't crucified for winning last time out. He's obviously a leading contender. Boot Hill has a tremendous record in the race as well. He liked the decent ground at Ascot, but my selection in the race, Dave, is going to be Rare Edition. There's been money for this horse, Dave, 7-1 into 11-2. And Charlie Longson at the moment, he's operated at a 27% strike rate. So stable and decent form. Just like the profile of the horse, Dave, Rare Edition. He was a listed winner over hurdles and nice ground. Nice ground is the key to this horse. And I thought he probably brings the most eye-catching form to the table here, because we know what Thistle Alaska's got on to do since beating Rare Edition at Kelso. He's gone on to win, I do believe, twice since, and he's gone up £29 in the handicap. So there's an argument that Rare Edition could be absolutely chucked in here off his rating. He's just 10 stone, 5 to carry here as well, and a pound lower over fences than his hurdles mark of 135. So once again, I think the race could be run to suit Rare Edition here. And as mentioned, all his wins, 5 of his 6 wins in his career have been on nice ground. So that Tisselask form, obviously the horse that went on to win the Halden Gold Cup, that's really eye-catching piece of form. And Rare Edition at 11-2, I think will take the beating. I just hope JPR1, my old friend, doesn't come out and bite me in the ass here, Dave.
Yeah, you know what? There's every possibility that could happen, but it's a really good race to look forward to. Right, Barry, on to the third race of the 5-cast. We move this time to Haydock on Saturday. And of course, this is for the Stayers handicap hurdle. This is a very interesting premier handicap. And of course, Shoot First has an entry for Charles Byrnes in the race, currently around 6-1. But at the top of the market, we've got Mashan 2, who's at 4-1. And also Horace's Peril for Fergal O'Brien and Johnny Burke. That's a 6-1 chance, and you can 7-1 and bigger then for that one. So I think it's a very interesting race and a deep race to look forward to.
I was disappointed with Horace's Pearl at Aintree last season. Obviously, I think that could be on a nice mark here for Fergal O'Brien, Johnny Burke on board. Liked them in bumpers, liked them obviously in novice hurdles as well. One of the massive price here I like, Dave, is Phantom of the Points. Now, we Jack Tudor on the podcast, obviously building up to Grand Sefton weekend at Aintree. They did mention this horse as being one that could be potentially on a nice mark. The Pipes, they've won this race on 4 occasions in the last 14 years. Let me run you through the previous winners trained by, of course, David Pipe. Main Fact back in 2020, Jevra Chamberton in 2013, Dinas in 2011, and Grand Cru back in 2010. This is the Pipes' only runner on Saturday anywhere in the UK. So Jack Tudor on board. Phantom at a point, 16-1. There's been nibbles of support for it. I think it's a cracking price each way, Dave. Considering the fact that it won in January time, it's ground versatile. It won in January time off 129. It's proven over 3 miles. It's proven on soft ground with the rain. I think we've 20 mil due at Haydock before the weekend. It's currently good to soft ground, so it's likely to be on the softer side. He's ground versatile. He's back to his last winning mark. And he carries less than 11 stone. So lots to like. 16-1 Phantoms of the Point. You have to respect, though, Charles Byrnes, though. I think shoot first, going for back-to-back wins in the race, Dave.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we've 2 more races to look at in the Fivecast selections. We'll get to those after the break. There, of course, going to be the Betfair Chase, the Grade 1 at Haydock, and the big John Durkan Chase, the Grade 1 at Punchestown on Sunday. Once again, a reminder to you to put in your Fivecast selections in the comment section below. And as always, we are really looking forward to seeing your thoughts on what you fancy this weekend. And of course, don't forget as well to enter the Champ.ie with Midland Travel, your opportunity to win that trip to Cheltenham. But we'll be back with you in a couple of moments right after these.
Thanks, folks. It's going to be a Baltic winter, and our winter wonder is back here at EJ Menswear and EJMenswear.com. €279 for 5 pieces all in, including your wool coat. We've got an unbelievable selection in this. Start off with your coat, build that. Choose a top from a quarter zip knit from Ted Smith. Any of our shirts, hundreds and hundreds of different combinations you can put together here. I've gone all black with the charcoal grey coat. Everything included in this, your coat, your quarter zip, or your shirt or your top, your bottoms. We even throw in the free scarf and socks. €279. It's a saving of over €200. The colours in the coats are class. You've got your camel there at the front. You've got your French navy. You have the black and you have the charcoal that I'm wearing here. A saving of over €200. The Winter Wonder Bundle is live now on the website, EJ Menswear, and in-store in Grattan Street in Sligo.
Yeah, it's a big shout out to all the lads down there. And don't forget as well, with that extra 5% off EJ Menswear online, all you got to do is put in the promotional code CHAMP5 to avail of that 5% off. And that, of course, coming up to Christmas will be very nice indeed. Last weekend, Barry, the Skeltons, they had some weekend. They produced some really good performances at Cheltenham. They've got the favourite for the Betfair Chase this Saturday, and that in Grey Dawning, currently 5-4 favourite with Boyle Sports.
Yeah, they're looking to power ahead in that championship, Dave, and try build up as much prize money over Willie Mullins before we turn into the year and obviously head into the springtime. So obviously the Penny Power Handicap Chase last weekend landed the slower chase as well, and they're hunting for more prize money here as well with Grey Dawning. But I suppose when you look at the horse in the race on their own merits here, Dave, Grey Dawning, I think it could be a case that Grey Dawning's rated too high, officially rated 166, and Hottie Calore, in my view, Dave, is rated too low, 154 rated. So the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National winner, look, he's going to be my selection in the race, Dave, at 7-2. Let's talk about Grey Dawning first and foremost, though. This horse has been beaten in November on his first run of the season for the last 3 years. So I get the Skeltons, fantastic target trainers, etc., but you cannot beat a run on the track. And Hottie Calore has had a run, over hurdles and actually won his prep, which was, I think, a surprise for connections. And obviously he's backing up here maybe a week sooner than they originally planned. I know they were eyeing up Newbury, but the fact they're coming here 15 days after that prep run at Newbury over hurdles, to me, that's a tip in itself here. Hottie Calore, a tremendous jumper. I mean, what do you need in a Gold Cup horse, Dave? And I think this horse could actually go on to run well in a Cheltenham Gold Cup. I'm not saying he's going to beat some of the Irish, but I think he's a cracking horse. And, he jumps, he travels in his races, he jumps, and he stays going. And it's exactly what you need.
Yes, it's going to be a very, very interesting race at Haydock on Saturday. Well, what about the big race on Sunday at Punchestown? It is the John Durkan. There is no galloping the shop. He's going a different route, little bit of a setback. But Willie Mullins, he's got able deputies taking and lining up. In fact, to file currently even money favourite at the top of the market. Barry, this is always such a great guide to the this division as the year goes on. And fact to file, look, he's he is the starting point. We have to start with him in the top of the market for Sunday's John Durkan.
Yeah, look, obviously Willie Mullins has won this race on 8 occasions in the last 10 years. Martin Brazel was one of the trainers to win it, obviously, with Fast or Slow, and he's in here as well. But I have to say, even though you have fantastic horses in here, it's not exactly a race I like to bet in, Dave, to be honest, because, Willie Mullins, what is he, 7 of the 11? He's 7 of the 11 entries as we're recording, Dave. So, look, Factofoil, to me, he's the obvious one. We did mention earlier on in the show that I know the way you're thinking. All 3 of his wins over fences have come in the spring beyond 3 miles. So I think Mark Walsh will choose Factofoil. And if you're looking at Factofoil as well in terms of what are his 2 big targets this season, I don't think he's a Gold Cup horse. I think we found that out last year. There's a slight possibility. Don't give up that Willie Mullins could, maybe at Christmas, go back to 2 miles with this horse. It'll depend how Majbur obviously gets on in the Hillyway down in Cork. But he did, on the podcast at the back end of the season, he did mention that Willie Mullins, that this horse jumps very well, and he wouldn't rule out this horse being a champion chase horse. So it depends on, I think, 2.5 mile, 2 mile 3 here in the John Durkan. He won the race last season. He drifted like the proverbial barge all morning. And they were campaigning him as a Gold Cup horse last season. So this year, I think you have to be, if you're Willie Mullins, surely you have to be targeting the John Durkan and the Right Air Chase as his 2 big targets. It is a grade 1, Dave. His 2 big targets for the season. And I don't think he is a Gold Cup horse. That's my own opinion. I don't think he stayed last year. So Fast or Slow, he's had his issues. 3 off the track for 64 days, should I say. Gaelic Warrior, obviously the big one for him is going to be the King George. You did point out earlier that there has been good support for him.
Yeah, it's been 6-1 into 11-4. So, look, I think that's always significant to watch the entries of the Willie Mullins team when he's so well represented in the race. And he's obviously doing plenty right at home. That 6-1 to 11-4 with Boyle Sports for the race. But it's a cracking renewal, and we're really looking forward to the John Durkan. Well, time for us to take our next break on the show. And right after this, we're going to hear from our very special guest this week, a man who's flying form at the moment, Sean Bowen.
Yes, and welcome back to the Champ.ie podcast, of course. Sean Bowen, he leads no introduction, Sean, the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National winning jockey last season, the reigning UK champion jockey. And I do believe, Sean, as I'm counting, 81 winners ahead of Harry Skelton in the championship at the moment. You must be delighted with how the season's gone so far.
Yeah, it's incredible, really, isn't it? Things have just gone amazingly well all summer and carried on through to the winter, and luckily bagged a few nice winners as well, which is always good.
The Boyle Sports Irish Grand National at Fairyhouse, of course, last spring. How does that rank, Sean, in terms of your successes to date?
Probably the very best, to be honest. They don't get much better than a national, do they? And to go over there and win it on a horse trained in Wales as well was brilliant.
Yeah, obviously with Rebecca Curtis on the show building up to the national, she sent a good couple of runners over to, of course, to Ireland at the Fairyhouse meeting. How good is Haughty Calore, do you think? Do you think, is he the best staying chaser you've ever ridden?
I don't know. I've ridden some good ones now. Very lucky to have won on the likes of Clanders Oboe and Surname and horses. Look, this lad's obviously very, very good. I think he's probably improved again on last year, when you think he couldn't win off 135 over hurdles last season, but then turned up this season to Newbury and won off 145. So look, he's been a brilliant horse for me in my career, and obviously Becky Curtis as well. And hopefully he'll make up into a Grade 1 horse.
Do you think he's a leading Gold Cup contender in your eyes?
Yeah, look, I don't see why not. He's obviously won round Cheltenham, seems to love Cheltenham. He stays very, very well. He jumps very well. Look, if you've got a soft ground Gold Cup where you have to stay very well, I don't see why he couldn't run a big race in it.
Strong leader, weighed out. Were you studying videos of AP Mackay riding Wichita Lyman before both? Two incredible rides. Lots has been spoken about. Take them individually, Sean. Strong leader in the West Yorkshire hurdle. He was kind of struggling down the back a little bit, was he?
Yeah, he just has that way of running a little bit. Yeah, look, the two they're two very good horses, but Strong Leader, he's a lazy type as it is. His jumping hasn't always been an asset of his. But in general, he tended to jump well at Wetherby, and he kept going all the way to the line, and I think he'd be sharper for that experience as well.
Weighed out. Let's talk about that performance at Cheltenham last week. I mean, how did you feel halfway down the back? Did you think you were going to get there?
Yeah, another horse now that's just as lazy, if not a little bit lazier. Yeah, I just thought if I could hang on in there the whole race, there was every chance I was going to come up the hill very well. So yeah, look, he's a horse that stays strongly, and yeah, once I was sort of still hanging on in there at the bottom of the hill, he was always going to come up it well.
Is he a horse that could be National Hunt Chase material, do you think?
Yeah, look, hopefully, yeah, that's sort of the plan, I think now. Ollie wanted to get one more run in and go straight there. He'll probably have a pair of cheek pieces on when he does go there as well, just to help him sharpen up. But yeah, he stays very well and might be the race for him.
Speaking of stayers, Replesdance Gray, he was a horse that won 3 times last season over fences, Sean, and he's entered up obviously at Newbury. How is he?
Yeah, Resplendent Grey's brilliant. I actually galloped him around Newbury this morning, and all went very well. The plan, obviously, his main target, sort of this side of Christmas, was always going to be this Coral Gold Cup, and yeah, we went to Carlisle, sort of not expecting him to go and win. To be honest, we were obviously back at a mile in trip without the cheek pieces on. We just wanted to get a good run into him, and yeah, I don't know whether he's improving or not, but that was a big improvement on things he had been doing sort of mid last season, really.
Fancy him for the big one at Newbury?
Yeah, I really do. He's a horse that's just got sharper and sharper, and yeah, he's really grown up as well. He used to be a little bit quirky and things. He could light up 1 minute and he'd be lazy 1 minute, but now he seems to have got the gist of traveling around in a race and making life a little bit easier. His jumping sharpened up as well, and yeah, no, I really do think he can run a big race.
We'd Noel Moran on the podcast building up to the Navan Racing Festival, and my bad, Sean, I didn't ask him about the Blue Room, and that's speaking about Ollie Murphy and Noel Moran. Obviously, the Blue Room got off the mark at Chepstow. Is he a smart novice that you think could go along the way this season?
Yeah, he is. He was actually in my horses to follow at the start of the season. Really liked him in his bumpers. Got beat the first day. Probably should have won at Exeter. Probably wasn't a great ride now, and then he went on and won at Fosslas in his bumpers, and obviously made a very smart start to hurdling. I was very impressed with the way he travelled and jumped, and yeah, he could be a nice one going forward.
Ben Solo's entered up at Chepstow on Friday. Is he a horse that you think can come on for his first run to make up into a nice handicap chaser this year?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, no, his jumping was very, very good now. And yeah, I think things just sort of happen quite quick on quick ground for him. So yeah, he's another horse that his jumping's going to be a big asset to him, and hopefully make into a nice chaser.
Douglas Hyde. Rebecca mentioned him on the podcast building up to the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National last season, and Douglas Hyde entered up on Friday as well on that 12:24 and maiden hurdle.
Yeah, he actually ran at Bangor. Bangor's a very sharp track now, and things were happening very fast for him. First time over hurdles. Thought his jumping was good, and then he sort of travelled to turning in and took a nice blow. So I think he'll improve massively on what he did at Bangor, and yeah, he's probably unlucky not to win a bumper last season, and hopefully he'll be a nice novice hurdler.
Talk to us about obviously your brother. He's made a fantastic start to life in terms of the training ranks, obviously taken over from your dad, Black Eddie. That was a really impressive bumper winner, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Very impressed with him at Chepstow. Did things right and finished through the line very, very well. Yeah, no, he's an exciting horse to have. Obviously, Martin Gowan's an exciting owner to have in the yard as well. To be buying a few of these nice sort of bumper and point winners, and he's got a real good squad of horses now, and really looking forward to it, because he's obviously, like you said, he's made a great start to his training career, and getting a few of these nicer horses is going to be a big asset as well.
Couple of final questions for you, Sean. First and foremost, of the younger horse that you've sat on so far this season, I suppose which has impressed you the most, and that you're looking forward for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, look, there's loads of horses there. Novice hurdlers, you mentioned the Blue Room earlier. Will Star was very disappointing at Newbury, but has had a wind up since, and always thought plenty of him. Fingalbridge, I thought, ran very well yesterday against Ulumba. His jumping wasn't very good early on, but once he dropped his head, his jumping was a lot better. So I think he could be a nice novice hurdler. Obviously won the bumper for Thomas Cooper the other day on Celestial Tune, and
what did you make of her?
Yeah, she was impressive now. Loved the way she went about things, had a very good attitude, and switched off well, and quickened when I asked her. So she's a nice horse as well.
Of the horses that you've ridden so far this season, is there a horse that maybe has ran well that we could maybe keep an eye on, maybe for handicaps later on in the campaign?
Yeah, I'm actually hoping he turns out into a graded horse. Fingalbridge, like I just mentioned, his jumping wasn't good early, but once he warmed up, he finished his race off very well. I think he's a very good horse. He beat Regent Stroll and the horse of Jamie Snowden's that won the Grade 1 at Aintree, and Alexi, who won the Greatwood the other day at Exeter. So it was nearly like a mini Supreme round Exeter, and he beat them all well. So I think he's a very good horse, and really looking forward to seeing what he can do over fences.
Absolutely super. Well, listen, the season's going fantastic for you, Sean. Really appreciate your time on the Champ.ie podcast. As mentioned, 135 winners for the season, and we're not even at Christmas yet, Sean. So the very best of luck. Finally, before I let you go, obviously winning the UK Trainers or the UK Jockeys Championship, should I say, has to be up there with your priorities, I'm sure. But is there any other goal this season, or any other race that you'd just love to win?
Yeah, I'd love to start off with a Betfair Chase winner now on Haiti Claws. But yeah, look, I actually haven't ridden the Cheltenham Festival winner yet. Ridden so many winners around Cheltenham, but yet to ride one at the festival. So that's obviously a massive target of mine. But yeah, you want to obviously be sort of dining at the top table, and them Grade 1s are the races you want to win. And hopefully a few Grade 1 winners on the CV wouldn't go amiss.
What's the one horse you think could maybe go on to win at Cheltenham this year?
Yeah, very good question. Gold Cup would be nice, wouldn't it? But yeah, we've got plenty of nice horses. I think Fingalbridge, I've mentioned him a few times now. I think he could be very good. And Al-Nalam was actually was a winner around Cheltenham, and he goes for a Grade 1 at Sandown next, and see how he can go as well. Look, I'm missing so many horses. I ride too many of them every day. But there's so many to look forward to, and I'm sure all the good winners will come as well.
Gorham Park Racecourse, the premier racetrack in the southeast of Ireland, is located on the outskirts of Kilkenny City. Known as the race that stops the county, the famous Gobs Thyestes Chase 2026 takes place on Thursday the 22nd of January. With packed crowds expected once again this January, you can book your early bird tickets online today. Visit gorhampark.ie online, click the link in the Champ.ie podcast video description, or scan the QR code on screen to purchase right now.
Now boarding the train of thought.
Calling out. Injury Lane. Statminster. Opinion Circus. Last Chance Cross. And Decision Time.
Back yourself. Boyle Sports.
Yeah, we're going to look ahead to the NAP and Next Best selections. And I suppose before we get to that, Barry, the video you did at the very start of the Champ.ie horse racing podcast season were the horses to follow. And so far, they've done very, very well.
Yeah, well, the only horse to let us down thus far is Derry Hayes and Paddy. And looking at that run, Dave, I think it screamed Ultima Handicap Chase at the Cheltenham Festival. I don't think they're going to campaign this horse as a graded animal, but the looks of things, I was disappointed with his jumping. But Fleur in the Park is out once again, Dave. I think he runs a Punchestown at the weekend over 2 miles for the Slattery. Spindleberry obviously getting the job done. And yeah, the horses to follow video is going well. We've a couple out this week, Dave. We have Lasco the Zobo entered up over hurdles on Friday. I think that's a very interesting horse in that 2:59 contest at Chepstow. That's over 2 miles. I think that'll take quite a bit of stopping as well. Lasco the Zobo. The point-to-point form took a little bit of a knock last weekend, Dave, but I still think Lasco the Zobo could be nice for Harry Durham. And that runs this weekend. And as mentioned, we have to keep an eye on our other horse to follow, looking to make it 2 from 2 this season. 2 from 3, should I say, this season. Fleur in the Park since our video.
Yeah. Yes, and of course, Fleur in the Park for the Slattery team in flying form. Well, it's Nap and Next Best time. I'm with a Nap selection in the Florida Pearl Novice Chase, the Grade 2, the 105 on Saturday. And I'm going to go with Rocky's Diamond for Declan Queally. A winner 2 starts ago in Galway, and last time out at Wexford was beaten 3/4 of a length by Blizzard of Oz. I think the Queally team is in tremendous form, and I really expect this Rocky's Diamond to go very, very close in this contest. 105 on Saturday. Rocky's Diamond, my Nap this week. Barry, your Nap and Next Best for the weekend.
Yeah, well, look, there's an Nap and Next Best for me. Let's start with the Next Best. We mentioned David Pipes, runner, Phantom of the Points. Back down to his last winning mark over hurdles, Dave, 129. The Pipes' only runner at the weekend, a race that they've traditionally targeted the Stayers handicap hurdle on Betfair Chase Day at Haydock. So Phantom of the Point, Dave. Next Best for me at 16 to 1 each way. Yeah, so moving on to the Nap this weekend, Dave. The Nap this weekend comes in the 12 o'clock at Cork on Sunday. It's race 2 on the cards, maiden hurdle over the 2 miles. And I think Gordon Elliott could have a smart horse by the name of Lord Rogue here. They won the race, of course, back in 2022. They've won the last 2 renewals, Dave, of this maiden hurdle. And Irish Point took this 2 seasons ago. It's a 4-year-old maiden hurdle. And this horse, obviously, was a good second at Punchestown in a point-to-point to the well-touted Heldham. And, of course, was trained in by Pat Doyle, now by Gordon Elliott. I think he could be smart, Dave, over hurdles. And, yeah, that's going to be the Nap pick of the day. It's in the 12 o'clock at Cork. Lord Rogue, I think, could take quite a bit of stopping in a race that Gordon's won in the past.
Yes, well, very best of luck to all of you out there as well with your best bet selections, and hopefully your selections will be winners this weekend. Right after this break, we're going to hear from Steven Thorne.
From Dundalk to Longchamp, from the Galway races to the Breeders' Cup, Shamrock Thoroughbreds recently celebrated their 100th winner, and Ireland's leading racehorse syndicate has taken owners all over the world. Shamrock Thoroughbreds founder, Steven Thorne, remarkably won the Winter Trainers' Championship at Dundalk during his first season as a racehorse trainer. To experience success with Shamrock Thoroughbreds and Steven Thorne Racing, check out shamrockthoroughbreds.com.
Steve, this fella's out on Friday, has a pedigree to die for. I think he cost over 300 as a yearling, and owned by Ammo Racing, son of Frankel, Mr. Fudge.
Yeah, Mr. Fudge, Barry, we have him there since the middle of the summer. Took our time with him there, wanted to get him into the swing of things and the routine, and a lovely run on debut for us in the Curragh. Made most of the run and just got a little bit tired close home there, the stiff 7 on the soft ground. But he's a nice action. I'm hoping he'll suit the all-weather surface well. Ready to go Friday there, not to 97 furlong handicap, and hopefully he won't be too far away.
And it's great, obviously, for yourself. Ammo Racing supported Steven Thorne Racing with the fellow up the way there, Gleneagle Bay. But how big is it for you, I suppose, to be attracting those, bigger sole owners as well as Shamrock Thoroughbreds? Yeah,
look at it, to have Keith Rabshin and his Ammo Racing team behind me in my first season, it's huge. And hopefully that there'll be a trickle of yearlings that will come along. As long as we can get a couple of winners for them. Very keen to get a winner on the board for them, and I'm hoping this will go close on Friday for me. I think he'll serve us well through the winter months, hopefully. And it'll be a nice horse for the turf next year too. As you said, a very expensive yearling purchase, lightly raced 4-year-old, and he's entitled to improve and continue to improve, and he's been training very well there the last couple of weeks, and we have him in a great place.
I was going to say, how good do you think he could be?
Yeah, look, I think he'll be a solid sort of mid-90s horse in time. That's what I'm hoping anyway, and you know, he's more than capable of getting a result or two.
It's a nice attitude, anyway.
Good attitude in the box. He can be a little bit, you know, fresh and keen through his work, but he's got a good attitude to the job, and you know, he trains very well.
Yes, and brilliant to hear from Stephen, and the very best of luck with your runners this week. And it's been some season for you last year, and may you rock on with it this year. Once again, a big thank you to all of you every week who are watching this Champ.ie horse racing podcast. But would you believe only 60% of you have subscribed to the channel, and we'd love if we can get you to continue to subscribe if you haven't done so. And Barry, you're going to tidy up things before we finish up this week's podcast by telling our listeners all about that great chance of going to Cheltenham and those fantastic prizes that are coming as well ahead of Christmas.
Yeah, well, look, the prizes, fantastic prizes for the Fivecast draw. So put your selections down below. 2 winners or more to qualify. The draw on the 20th of December, the Fivecast winter draw. But you'll see the QR code up on screens to enter our Cheltenham competition, Dave. And thanks to Midlands Travel, fantastic interest thus far. If you're not in, you can't win, Dave. But if you're watching this on a phone device, which over 50% are, Dave, you don't have to scan the QR code. The link is in the podcast description down below. So you can just click the link, enter your competition details, and you must be subscribed to the channel, Dave. So enjoyed episode number 6 of the season, Dave. We're really in the thick of the National Hunt season, and really looking forward to a cracking weekend once again. That John Durkan, a cracker on Sunday.
It is indeed. And Barry, I really enjoyed your show on your first road, the Cheltenham show, which was out earlier in the week. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. Barry and Davy Boland had a great discussion on week 1. And of course, Barry, you're back again with week 2 of the road to Cheltenham on Monday.
Yes, a Gold Cup winning jockey coming on the show on won a champion hurdle as well. So that's a little teaser, Dave, on Monday's show upcoming. So looking forward to it, episode number 2. Fantastic interest. And of course, the prize for the Road to Cheltenham Challenge show, Dave, is that VIP trip to the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National. So if you haven't entered your week 1 AntePost selection on Monday's show, well, go and do so. Head over to the show and put your selection for week number 1 in the comment section, Dave.
Well, a big thank you to you, Barry, as always, for your contribution on the podcast each and every week. And a massive thank you to all of you out there for watching the latest edition. We look forward to catching up with you soon. Have a great horse racing weekend.
Midland Travel are Ireland's leading provider for horse racing and sports packages.
And they're off.
Are you planning a trip to Cheltenham, Aintree or Royal Ascot?
But it's Galopin de Shaw who's galloping his way to Gold Cup glory.
Midland Travel in Tullamore have been providing a full range of horse racing packages for over 20 years, catering for all types of budgets. If the Monaco Grand Prix is on your bucket list, or you want to finally visit the San Siro, Stephen and the team at Midland Travel can help you realise your sporting travel dreams. Midland Travel are the only company in Ireland that runs coach and ferry packages from both Manchester United and Liverpool. Midland Travel also specialise in golf tours, school tours and club training camps. Check out midlandtravel.ie or contact 057 932 6777 for more information.